both. It's your boy, the Omega Katana, and let me just tell you before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that I'm really sorry about last time. And and with the echoing, we did some tests, and finally, Mackenzie's not actually like basically like a freaking like in like you
Like,
in an emulator, and it goes like
oh shit, Don Jilia, what up? Mr. Evil One.
three,
Yeah,
one,
you can see the chat, right? There we go. Yep,
two,
yeah.
three, begin, and everybody, yep, Quattro Pagina in the house here, aka Evil 198. And let's just say that I'm a Muslim that voices for peace. Yes, I got this shirt from the masjid a while back, and let me just say let's before we begin, let's just introduce our latest knight, or the guardian of the Omega Dimension, Mackenzie Critiques.
Thank you, Omega Man. I'm honored to be a knight of the Omega 13th dimension.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Even though it's not that much, you just got this microphone. I just got this microphone and a built-in webcam. It's not
Oh,
all
nice.
fancy with the whole all big this huge setup with green screens and whatnot and fakeness. No, we're not. I'm not being fake here. It's just the real me. This is like the
Yeah,
traditional YouTube, like grappler JMO
yeah.
and all those old guys.
Old school, yeah. Doing it old school.
Yeah, who are truthful and not faking it. This is
It's
not
all about the
the
content, right? It's not about the
yeah.
fancy production and looking like a complete like whore on fucking camera. It's like,
Up here. Peace gets you nowhere. Need to drop a colony or an asteroid on Earth and bring up all the booty up here to Atlantis. Yeah, thank you here. I'm like interacting with these people here, and it's like, yo, Bleeding Shadow, how's it going? I'm doing fine, and and it's way better now. I can hear him clearly without the whole emulation crashing sound on my end. Oh, fudge nuggets. Wait, uh, wait. Can you hear me? Cause now you're silent.
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Good. Can you hear me
Oh,
still?
yeah, I can hear you.
Good, good. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on really well? So
Everything good?
I think it's my headphones. Like basically like making a
One back.
yeah.
Yeah, right,
Oh man,
right, right. I'm not crackling. I'm out on you.
crackle and pop. Oh. Now everyone's hearing the crackle and pop. Not just me
What?
now. I'm not the sane one.
Once. Am I crackling still?
No, you're not crackling now.
Okay.
Yeah.
UFO visiting mustache's dude's house again.
Yeah. He's moving in, so that's why it's blurry. Like basically the Omega dimension is blurry right now. Forgot to blur my background, so let me see I can like blur my background. The Omega dimension is like here.
Yeah, they've got like backgrounds blurred. Yeah, there we go. It's blurred.
Yeah, blurred. Like basically it's like under construction, so we're in a part of the Omega dimension that it's blurred and whatnot. Yes, it's like cheap old old school Suribara productions from the '60s. Production values, but I've been
Mm.
watching a lot of tokusatsu soon, so why blur a single bookcase? Because I feel like it, and it's the mood. And number two, it's my place is not in the right shape right now.
See,
Feeling
Omega
it.
doesn't need to flex his manga collection like Chibi reviews or something.
No, exactly. I don't need to flex my DVD collection, my manga collection, or my model kits. I don't need to flex that anymore. Just making sure the blur works.
Yeah, the blur's pretty
So
good. It's like, yeah.
yeah. So what? So I'm just going to get started right off the bat about I can't fit Dojin under my bed. Okay, people will find it easily.
Bless you, fam.
Thank you,
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. So let's just get started here. Here's my thoughts on FF16 and the criticism what they shown, like DMC combat, no party control, all deep flashiness and no substance. And when they hit enemies, I see numbers, not arms flying off, not people reacting, getting hit, not their heads flying off, and not people getting burnt or freeze to death.
Yeah.
It's like
I mean, this
a sponge, man. You know that sponge concept when you're fighting enemies and they just take tank damage so they fall
tank
down.
damage until the HP bar is basically depleted. I think that's
Yes.
one good point. Like, we were talking about this before stream. For a game that's all touting medieval, blood, gore, dark themes, and all this kind of stuff, there's such a huge disconnect between the combat. The combat looks like anime, looks like Dragon Ball Z, and like an anime brawler, like a Cyber Connect 2 brawler, you know, Sasuke versus Naruto, where everyone's zipping around doing cartoon jutsus and throwing out fireballs and stuff. And there's loads of particle effects, loads of numbers. There's no, like he says, no dismemberment, blood coming out everywhere. It's just weird, like you're having this anime style combat, which looks great, like it looks fucking dope. But then you got this dark Game of Thrones story, which is all stoic and trying to take itself seriously. So there is that disconnect. It's not a huge fucking gripe for me, but Mega pointing out that disconnect is there. That it's not like Witcher combat where people's heads are getting beheaded and blood's coming out their fucking necks and stuff. Even though they're calling this the most M-rated fucking FF game ever made, so.
Yeah, because let's say about rated M games for a moment here. We talk about Ninja Gaiden 2, and that was censored to death when it got ported because how violent it got. Like people like getting their heads smashed in with that bow, that spear bow hybrid weapon, their heads flying off, people getting burnt, arms chopping off and exploding, and etc. And that was a hack and slash game. And FF16 years later has all this flashiness and here's the funny thing. The cutscenes featured a lot of gore and whatnot, but where is that in the gameplay? Where's the stabbings? Where's the impalement? Where's the arms chopping off? And remember in Type O, where your enemies die, you take their souls out their bodies.
Yeah.
If you remember that. That has some sort of dismemberment. In order to gain experience, you take people's souls out their bodies. And FF Type O is edgy as hell. But FF16, hey, it's not anime, it's all Game of Thrones and Witcher like. So let's bash Type O.
See,
yeah.
This is what I say. If you're gonna go this route, then you can't have your cake and eat it too. That has to spread to your combat, and it has to spread to your narrative. You know what I mean? Cohesive, right? Witcher, you can say whatever you want about how bad Witcher's combat was. Some people didn't like it. It's fair. I can see people not liking it, but at least it was cohesive. At least what was happening in the narrative spread to the combat, where it didn't suddenly become like a power fantasy, Dragon Ball Z thing going on with the combat, Devil May Cry and combos and all this crap, and then suddenly it was the tonally just completely different in the story. This is my issue, is the cohesion aspect. I'm gonna love the story, I'm gonna love the medieval setting, the British accents, the character designs, but it's gonna have a disconnect between this very Japanese, very combo attack, score attack based combat system. You know what I mean? I like Devil May Cry for being Devil May Cry. That's why I play Devil May Cry games. I like FF for being party based, min-maxing, equipping new characters with armor, with teammates, everything. For me, it's just it's trying to do everything, and it does. I don't think it kind of like is amazing at one thing.
Yeah, I feel you, because basically it's a disconnect. Like, how if the story and the cutscenes are bloody? I already say this many times, but I see numbers instead, and it's like, come on, bruh. Like, I know a dude who's basically really cool with and he did not like the numbers coming out of the people when they get hit.
There's got
It's
to
a
be a
pet peeve
cleaner
of
way.
his.
Yeah, there's got to be a cleaner way to present that, because it's too much. Like,
Yeah.
it is too much. Some people say, oh, you're watching compressed YouTube footage, and the contrast and the resolution will be much better when you're playing the game, so none of that will matter. But any footage we've seen, I think there is a cleaner way to show damage values, or have to scale down the particle. Like even FF14, I remember the first time I started FF14, I was like, what the fuck is this UI? What the fuck are these particle effects?
Thank you.
There are options in FF14 to turn off particle effects and spell effects so you can see what the fuck is going on. And these are the same people working on FF14 who adding back these problems. When they were showing us the frame rate mode and the quality mode, where were the options to tone down the spell values? These are the same people who gave us those options in FF14, but no one's questioning it. They're like, it's fine. It's fine that there's 20 numbers flying out and you don't know what's going on. You don't know what Torgal's doing half the time.
Yeah.
Torgal's spinning in the air while you're throwing out fire spells while numbers are flying out all over the place. It's just not an elegant like feedback.
Exactly. Like if you turn off the numbers, the enemy's just like taking damage, and you don't know what the hell is this thing gonna die or something.
See, he's right. Vector's right. There's no point in numbers when you're not exploiting weaknesses. When you don't know if you're doing critical hits or not. It's just numbers and names for like doing a perfect parry or doing a perfect dodge or doing something. You don't actually know what you're getting for doing these things. I mean, if you're exploiting a weakness or something. So.
Yeah. And we got still people on Twitter like getting all upset at people saying that why are you bashing? I know it's like it's coming out and so, but we're just seeing it from the trailers. The demo didn't came out yet. We'll probably change our minds when we play the demo. I don't have a PS5, so Mackenzie will probably play it for us on a string of the demo, but
yeah. I'm not saying FF16 is shit or gonna be shit. I'm just saying what I've seen so far does not inspire me with hope. My issue is every time a franchise has had a big change, right? Zelda's had big changes when fucking the GameCube version, right, came out on GameCube, when Skyward Sword came out. Even Skyward Sword on Wii or Wii U, whatever it was, right, had a big pushback.
Yeah.
Big pushback, big criticisms. Resident Evil 4 when it went to RE4, all the fixed camera purists, right, were like, what the hell is this? This is not our Resi. It's natural to see pushback, right? But it's weird how no one's saying anything about it. You know what I mean? And we've had Pixel Remaster come out like yesterday or day before yesterday, or couple of days ago. You're bringing out the old classics that were amazing, so close to this new FF16, and you're expecting people to be like, don't push back, we're making this big change, don't question it, accept it, embrace it, whatever. And you're like, if you say anything critical about it, you're a fucking hater and all that stuff. Dude, these people have been have only existed since Twitter existed. We had pushback long before that. You had fucking Edge magazine, you had official PlayStation magazine.
You got the other gaming magazines too.
Exactly, Game Informer. Yeah, all of them being very critical.
Edge magazines,
Edge magazine,
Famitsu in Japan.
They will always push back against big drastic changes. Sometimes these changes were good, sometimes these changes were bad. For everyone to say this change is gonna be amazing, it's amazing just because I've seen some kaiju combat and Devil May Cry combat, which we've seen already.
Ultraman
doesn't mean
style.
Yeah.
Sorry about cutting you off.
Nasco, your boy Mad Dog is in here.
Yeah. What's good, man? And I understand too. The music, the OST is going to be great. The acting's going to be superb. The story's going to be amazing. But I'm having a problem with the gameplay. I'm kind of like iffy on that. They're going to cut some corners with chapters. But here's the one thing: the chapters, how the story is split into chapters. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Look, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Chapter 1, I call it that, takes place in Midgar. So it takes place in set of chapters. While FF16 is in like chapter format, and each segment has its own open field, like Dragon Quest VIII. But back in the day with Dragon Quest VIII, that was freaking huge. How they from Dragon Quest VII to Dragon Quest VIII. But with this, it's like cutting the corners. So just The Witcher 3 did not did that. The one thing I respect is like this huge open world. And look, I'm not being a little pansy on this. I'm just giving my thoughts what I saw so far and concerns. I got a brother who's like a fan of the Final Fantasy series, even more than me. And has some complaints about it. He's happy about it taking place back in the medieval times, but he does not like the character designs because they look bland as hell to him.
I mean, I like these character designs because they remind me more of the Ivalice games, the more European-looking characters like
Yeah.
FF12, FF Tactics, Medieval. So personally, from my opinion, I love these character designs, and I'm not against the anime style character designs, but I do want to return to the a more not photorealistic, but a more
Amano, like
triple A,
Amano
yeah,
Nomura.
yeah, exactly. A triple A version of the Amano artwork, stuff
Yeah.
that Amano used to draw for the medieval FFs, right? So I
Yeah.
like that. You know, maybe I don't talk enough about what I like about this. I like the medieval settings. I like the writing because
Agreed.
it's an actual American dude that's actually writing for the game, so he knows how to localize properly. He's not going to be turning it into anime dub style fucking,
It's
what do you call it?
it's like
Lowest common
right.
denominator.
And
Yeah,
it's like a huge story. Like what he's
yeah.
saying is like a huge story, like FF Tactics, but done in a grand scale with summons, Final Fantasy versus 13 tactic style, but done in a Shakespearean method.
Yeah, so Vector said no party members with jobs too. Only enemy bosses so far have jobs like Dragoon and Guy. So it's weird that you're literally putting Clive next to characters who have job systems, like you say, Dragoon, Assassin, stuff like that. But and everyone keeps saying that the iconic abilities of Clive are like the class system. They're not. They're just different Devil May Cry Dante styles, Royal Guard style, Trickster style. They're just names
Gunslinger,
that they've
Swordslinger,
exactly, Swordslinger. You know what I mean? And they're not
but just
actually
party
classes.
members.
They're just different styles of combo. So the Garuda icon is like more like a fast-paced juggling based one. Then you've got Titan, who's more like the Royal Guard guy who can parry, block. These are not classes. Don't get it fucking twisted. These you can't compare this to the class systems of FF5 or the classes that you got in fucking FF14. It's just they slapped on things that make it look like these are classes, but they're not. It's all just dressing it up, making it look like an RPG when it isn't.
It's not. Like, basically, what's the point of your party members? Like, remember the early forms of Kingdom Hearts, where you have Donald and Goofy, and Donald doesn't heal you in time? Unless you tell him to heal you?
That's a meme. That's even a meme.
Yeah. I even lost battles because of Donald's incompetence. It wasn't until the end game of 2 that Donald and Goofy were doing stuff
Yeah,
properly.
yeah.
Because you remember,
It's
I just want to say the gambits of Donald and Goofy, I leveled them up and I added commands to them, aka gambits, and they started to work properly end game, not at the beginning. But don't know what Jill and Sid or Toggle the wolf dog, and they're just standing there looking pretty. And Toggle's just like summoned, you can just attack and whatnot. And they're just like standing there, barely doing anything. And about the abilities that Clive has, why in the hell you show him attacking Ifrit with fire?
yeah. Apparently, somebody tried to excuse it, right? They don't know for a fact. They said, "Oh, Phoenix's fire is the weakness of Ifrit for some reason, whatever reason, whatever
It's
revisionist
Shiva.
history." Yeah, but even if you forget that there's a story reason for that, whenever we've seen footage of this fucking game, all we've seen is Clive throw all his abilities at one enemy. Garuda's ability, Ifrit's ability, Titan's ability, all combos, all types at one enemy. No exploiting the weaknesses, no exploiting natural inherent weaknesses or whatever it is. It's just throwing all your abilities at them because there's a cooldown for each one. So you're forced to use ice on an ice enemy. Can you imagine you'd be forced to use ice on an ice enemy just because your fucking fire abilities and your earth abilities are on cooldown? They want you to just use like combos. There's no elemental attributes, no gambit AI control about aggression. Even fucking Stranger of Paradise, left on the D-pad, right on the D-pad meant your teammates like Donald and Goofy, for example, like would be more aggressive aggressive and they throw their abilities at them, and or if you have tails where you can turn off certain abilities so you're not throwing ice magic and ice enemy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just rudimentary things that are easy to implement, but they couldn't even give us that. It's just one guy and his dog. It's like
Doing all the
basically
work.
V. You know Devil May Cry V, and he's got that crow,
The
or whatever,
Panther
that
and the Crow.
the Panther and the crow fighting with him. That's literally what it is. A V from fucking Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
And
So-
and people out here saying it's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. Like, yeah, it's like it's going to let me
Do you
say
know what?
this.
These are the FF fans who only started playing FF when 14 and 15 came out. Legit.
Yeah.
Legit.
Fake
They're
fans,
the only
the
people
Enix
defending it.
fans, the Square Enix fans. Now, remember, like we'll talk about this later on, that this company used to make a greatness. Let me show you, for example. I'm showing this to you guys soon.
Preach,
But-
fam, preach.
But let's get to the second topic here. It's still involving with FF. Here, let me just bring this out. So let me bring this. Da. So about the pushback and criticism, like from the influencer community, let me just say they're getting unhinged when you
They are.
talk. You share your thoughts about it. That's not in an echo chamber. I don't, but like Final Fantasy peasants, and his peasants don't even like what they're hearing, or what's that
Night
guy?
Sky. Night Sky
Night
Prince.
Sky Prince. He's
Calling everyone haters. I've never seen Night Sky Prince take a stand for one side or the other. I've never seen influencers literally, what do you call it, alienate a huge portion of their own damn communities, right? Like this. For some reason, everyone is incapable of saying anything bad about 16, and I've never seen this before. I've
Influencer
hardly ever
power.
seen this. Even when RE4 remake was coming, RE4 remake was the community was divided. They were really scared about what they were gonna do with RE4. F16, no one can say nothing bad about it. It's like a conspiracy. I hate to be that guy, but it's like a conspiracy theory. Like either you're getting paid by fucking Square to give positive coverage or something. Like there is no pushback. It's fucking weird.
Sorry about it. It's really weird.
Everyone had
indeed.
something to say when FF7 remake came out. Everyone had
Yup,
something to say about
everyone,
FF7 remake.
including us, but we gave it a chance because we're real fans.
Exactly. I don't mind
And-
giving 16 a chance, but I don't understand where people, even if this game is mediocre, they're gonna say it's amazing. It's gonna get that bump for some
It's
reason.
like it's all hype, like the latest anime and whatnot. And let me tell you about this. I see some influencers like and Final Fantasy fans from Square Enix like jumping on a cosplayer because she didn't like FF16.
I can't believe I'd ever agree with a cosplayer, especially
here.
one like her.
Yeah.
I can't believe that the coverage on this game is so dead and so one-sided that I would have to scrape the bottom of that fucking barrel to find a random cosplayer who dresses up as Tifa, right?
Yeah.
To actually agree with her with some of the stuff. That's how dead one-sided the coverage is for FF16. Everyone just hyping it. The people who have issues with it based on what they've seen are just as valid as the people who like what they've seen. I mean, the game isn't even out yet, so you're valid about what you think about what they've shown. I have no problem with anything except this idea that parties no longer matter, party control no longer matters, equipment don't matter, min-maxing don't matter, haste doesn't matter, status effects don't matter, none of the staples of FF matter. You know what I mean? None of these things matter. Turn-making Clive a class that is like a mage build don't matter. All the staples don't matter so I can only assume with conspiracy hat on that none of these guys have ever played FF prior to FF15
Exactly.
or Lightning Returns. So
Your microphone's off again a bit.
wait, mine. I haven't done anything to it. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's good now. It's good now.
It's okay now. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but like you said, like I see this one-sided argument and people acting like kids, like little children. If you say anything concerning, like the combat, for example, and like people saying you're just a hater, you don't like change, you're a purist, dude. I wanted a hack and slash FF game for a long time. And if you want a dark story, we said this billions of times before. There's no dismemberment. There's no reaction when your enemies get hit in swords. If you remember, have you took any martial art classes or sparring lessons,
No.
or you heard about your friend punching a kid at school, punching a bully at school, and
Yeah,
how
those
someone
things
gets
I've heard of.
you take a punch and
Yeah.
you or your opponent react to the punch.
Yeah.
I'm just hitting myself because to show you an example, but don't take that literally. And FF16, let me just preach to the people here. Preach to the people. Okay, so here's the fun part. Let's preach to the people here. Oh, come on, man. Address bar. Click the screen icon. Come on. Here's. Oh, let me try that again. Let me just preach to the screen here. That's us right there. Fantasy 16 gameplay.
Yeah, show him. Jill does nothing. Throwing out mega ice spells and she's doing no damage to the enemy. Jill
Blah, blah,
Hardwick
blah, blah, blah.
throwing out fucking Blizzaga and doing 0 damage.
And look, and one thing I have for here, I know it's fantasy and whatnot, but would it be more realistic to him for Clive to have like a torch, not a fairy like fire elemental thingy? That's a small thing right there.
It's weird how there are elemental properties in this game, but they're not being used how they're supposed to be used.
Yeah. I'll just say it's like a fire elemental fairy pixie thing.
Yeah.
He summoned it away. Here's the jail thing here. Blah, blah, blah. Your FF15 moment, sort of. Character interactions, I don't mind because I like this here. It's a reaction cutscene right there.
Everything's gonna look like Zack Snyder shit.
Finally, he saw a torch or two.
Considering all the particle effects, I'm surprised they're not lighting the room.
It's look, you brought a good point. Let's slow this down. Slow the footage down here. Let me see if I can like slow the footage.
Yeah, full screen it. Put it to full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna see it. You can't see anything that's going on with so much fucking particle effects.
Wrong thing. Let me just go back for a minute.
See, I'll grant people the fact that, yeah, YouTube compression, but at face value,
that is so noctis, man.
It gets worse in this footage. Watch as the footage goes on.
Yeah.
It's gonna get worse.
What's Sid doing after all this, man?
Yeah, where is Sid? What's he doing?
Look there. No blood. No enemies like reacting to the dead. A person got thrown to the ground. He ain't crawling. He ain't quickly getting back up. He's just standing there for half a minute, for Clive to just stab his sword down onto him, and look, there's no freaking blood.
Yeah,
look,
this is grounded.
So I'm not being like edgy. It's for setting purposes. I'm a poser storyteller.
I mean, they've shown daytime footage of grounded assassinations, and there's no blood. So
yeah, he just look. He just stabbed him right then and there, and he just lost a chunk of his health.
Yeah, but yeah, keep playing the footage. You'll see how fucking messy it is.
At least they showed like the enemies are reacting, like getting pushed back when it stagger when they get hit, the lunge, the magic burst, like. This is Devil May Cry, man. Like, all that for one soldier?
It's DMC with more particle effects and just numbers flying everywhere.
Look, I don't want to be like a hater, but at least they showed some like lighting the room a bit. But why about fire? Why the place isn't lit in fire already? Because there's wood there that catches on fire. The lightning effects, it's lightning the room there. Okay, where's
But all your guest party members just do nothing. They're just window dressing. That's the issue.
And one thing, it's a small little nitpick here. That's kind of dangerous right there. Look, I learned sword combat long ago. And where is his scabbard? That's kind of dangerous. Like you're having his naked blade not being connected to a scabbard. Let's just like skip to the next part here. Let's skip to the next video here.
Yeah, skip to the newest trailer.
Yeah, let's skip to if I can find it. So
yeah, just type in FF16 trailer, and it should be.
Blah,
yeah,
blah,
this is the
blah.
one. Yep, this is the one.
Blood and gore, cartoon nudity, sexual themes, strong language and violence. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah, but that disconnect with the combat. Yeah.
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 And man, Yoshida looks tired. But let's.
Is this the full trailer? Wait, you need to find the trailer.
I think this is the latest trailer. 9 days ago.
No. Yeah, this ain't the trailer. This is the full state of play. Yeah, there we go. That's the trailer. You can full screen this. Try full screen in this one.
Yeah, I'm slowing this down because for copyright issues and whatnot.
I'm not gonna criticize the sword stuff because there are loads of JRPGs that are terrible with that.
Yeah.
But yeah. This gameplay will show you.
Yeah, the story I don't mind at all. It looks more convincing. I don't mind being in a book or an anime or CGI anime movie. That'll be legit. But it's the gameplay that matters.
The way you need to find the. I'll just link you the trailer that you should play.
Oh, let's see the. Oh, we got Noctis combat again. He just like people like Nomura basically paved the way.
Weird people shit on the Noctis combat because that's no different from what Nomura showed when Versus 13 was being shown.
Yeah, warp striking and whatnot. Look, more warp striking. He learned that stuff since 16. He did all that, and yet a few like half health bar gone. And dude, where's the goblin's heads getting chopped off after all this? I didn't know he can play as the little boy.
Yeah, that's Joshua.
The wizard? Yeah.
Yeah, his brother, yeah. But this is the demo or something, like the prologue.
Here's the Phoenix here. Let's skip that. Oh wow, what is this? Star Fox? Or better yet, Panzer Dragoon. Yeah.
Panzer Dragoon, yeah.
And yeah, we got like Godzilla gone Ultraman there.
See, I don't mind these set pieces. It's just I wish they were more integrated into basic combat where you can actually summon Ifrit or Clive can become Ifrit against mobs. You know, basic flan enemies or something.
Yeah.
There, look at that. He's just throwing everything against fire, wind spells, everything. You know, it's not even about exploiting a weakness. He's got no ice spells.
It's like
he's just throwing combos. Like, to hell with what the elemental affinity is or weakness is.
Man, what is like basic the summons look cool and whatnot and all, but
I mean, I'm so shocked that people are getting wowed by this stuff. This is stuff that Bayonetta has been doing for fucking ages.
Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, Final Fantasy 15, the prototype footage of Versus with the warp striking and whatnot, and yet people are jumping on it like it's the next thing.
If this is really what people wanted, then Scalebound wouldn't have been cancelled.
Look there. Guy turned to mush and there's blood. Look. Sorry about that. RIP, poor chap. You're going to Jannah. Look closely. Look. Blood. Disconnect right there.
The disconnect between the actual combat and the cutscenes and the world they're presenting. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is weird that they still have restraint. It feels like they're showing restraint. Even with that M rating. Yeah. There is a lot of restraint still.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not as dark and morbid. Yeah, it's
even Stranger of Paradise in combat had very visceral looking execution moves. Jack was you know,
Jackals
crystallizing them into
turning,
blood.
crystallizing it, and then smashing them. Yeah.
Yeah, or ripping their jaws open and things like that. So
And look here. Let's just say back here. Look. No, he getting all that, taking all that damage, and yet there's no. Look there. There's blood in the gameplay, but there's like no. There's blood in the gameplay trailers, but there's no actual
yeah, none in the
fountains of
combat.
blood or broken bones or chopped off heads in the gameplay footage.
They are
Yeah.
really evoking Souls games and Game of Thrones, but do still show a lot of restraint for some reason.
Yeah. And if you don't mind, I'll be skipping this stuff. We're just talking about the game. What? This is the world map? You just pointed at sections, man.
It's taken a very Western approach to world maps and like.
Yeah, this is Final Fantasy X world map.
It's not going to be an open world, but it's going to be like a hub, bunch
Yeah,
of
like
hub.
Dragon Quest
hubs,
8.
Yeah. See, I got no problem with the world. I got no
The
problem
world.
with the
I
characters.
like this. Like, look here. This is Final Fantasy 12 like right here,
Yeah.
but without the extra species.
Yeah. But yeah,
Nice
let's
river,
move
though.
on to the next talking point on the list.
There's a chocobo there.
I mean, these aren't things that 15 was doing a lot of these things.
Oh, exactly.
To its
Look
credit.
at that. I give it that credit. I like that. But come on, is that our airship?
This side of everything, it gets everything right on this side of things. It's
Exactly.
the combat that's the issue.
Yeah.
The combat's the only issue. There we go. Look.
Well, look here. Look, like you said, like he's just like throwing everything at him, and look, it's barely doing any damage. It's like they copied like Soul Lost. Remember that Soul Lost Aside game
Yeah.
where the
Mm,
monsters
Soul
look
Aside.
like that, and yet it's hard as hell, and it actually has some sort of impact to it. But this is like a slower version of it. But that's a stupid name for an enemy. But he's taking all that,
Yeah.
and yet look there. Like the person is like Clive is like holding it still for a charge, and why the other person didn't attack it? Remember in Ninja Gaiden 2, where the enemies, when you even charging or doing a grab, his partner will be attacking you still?
Yeah. You get interrupted.
Yeah. All that and like just a little chunk, just a decent chunk of damage.
I know for demo purposes they nerfed the damage so that you can show off all these fancy skills. But compare Clive's damage to Jill's damage. She does absolutely no damage to the enemies.
Yeah. You're fighting a Minotaur and there's no scars, there's no like gore. You can't chop enemies' arms off or have. Remember, look here for example. Let me show you something. It's a prototype footage, so it's scrapped. So I'm just going to show you it for like example.
Mad Dog, the feedback needs to be better. Just the feedback.
E3 footage. Where's the E3 footage? 4.3 E3. Excuse me, people. Look, like blah 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 blah. Yes, it's like let's just show for this. Just like for our discussion purposes. Like, look here. Look at Ifrit being burnt. Have some scars and being burnt. From they didn't show. Man, wish they would revisit that. And look at environments being
people
thrown.
are really underselling how good FF15's animations and combat was.
It was
just to make
a
16
mess.
look good. 15
It's
was
this
a mess,
prototype footage that was scrapped.
But even at prototype stage, it looked fucking damn
Dope.
good.
Yeah. Blah 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 blah.
It's trendy to shit on the old thing whenever the new thing comes out.
Yeah.
I promise you, people weren't saying this before 15 came out. I promise you, people were watching this saying the exact same thing about this that they're saying about FF16.
Yeah. Look at the warp striking that Clive's doing. Nomura paved the way for that.
Clive.
And yet people are praising Clive for stealing Nox's martial art book. Or his moves.
Yeah, like really, when you think about it, particle effects and Devil May Cry style, how is this any different from what they're doing in 16? At least he has utility. At least Noctis has utility.
And look here. Look, that should have been like look there. That should have been like a QTE event if this wasn't scrapped.
Look at those animation transitions. Like, even though this game turned out to be like mediocre, this is exactly what people are saying about 16.
Yeah. Look where Noctis is trying to attack the enemy, running through the Iron Giant.
Yoshi P's saying that 16 is the first full action Final Fantasy game. Look at this game. Look at this game. How can Yoshi P say this? 16 is the first full action FF game.
Look, Noctis just kicked the enemy there, right there, dodging bullets and everything. Like,
dude, people were losing their minds when this footage came out. I promise you, I was there. I was there. People were losing their minds, just like they're doing over 16.
Look there. Like, the enemy. Look at that. The enemy quickly gets back up, and the enemy's still firing his gun, and Gladio's doing crap.
The animations were actually so good. Like,
yeah, too bad it was scrapped. And look at that. Look like the environments. Like the environment's getting damaged from all this.
Yeah.
QTE event where Gladio moves his way out of the behemoth right there.
I mean, the setting wasn't as good. You didn't really get to flex the combat because the combat encounters weren't interesting beyond behemoth.
Wow, look at that reaction to the spell. Look at that. Final Fantasy 16 does not have that.
I promise you, if this footage had come out today and this was FF16, people would be saying the exact same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
And then they waited 2-3 years after the game came out, and then they were finally like realistic about it. That it was a mediocre game.
Trust me, this FF16 does that. Yes, it's fantasy, but look at your party member.
Vector, the combat was like this. The demo came out. The demo of this came out.
Your party members does crap, and it impacted the gameplay. Look, does Jill or Sid does that? No. Correct me if I'm wrong when the game comes out. A suplex right there.
People losing their minds over this combat. Just like they're doing over 16, and then they're gonna have to wait 2-3 years before we get the real response to the game.
Yeah. Another scrapped moment just for like education purposes. All this was scrapped. So
we should move on to the next point after this then. After this trailer.
Blah blah blah. This trailer. Wasted potential. Arden, the only good thing out of this mess. Imagine it's the true product. We were robbed and betrayed like Arden. That looks beautiful, by the way. Look at the gameplay of this.
There's a lot of revisionist history about 15, man. There's a lot of revisionist history about 15. If we're talking about graphics and animations and comparing this to 16, there's a lot of revisionist history. They're pretending like the game didn't look this good.
This was the good footage, but yet it got scrapped. Wasted potential. Let's move on.
Okay.
All that potential wasted. It's more engaging. It's like Uncharted. And yet your party members do stuff. Warp striking. Jumping off FF16 Magitech armor. Blah blah blah. Let's just get to the next point there.
Yeah, next talking point.
So
take the Twitter.
So Yeah, this was before the final mix. But let me just say that this was before the final release. It is scrapped. I said this like many times. I just showed it because what Yoshi P said. This is the first hack and slash FF game. Yet people are forgetting that. And this is not just showing you the finished product of FF15's combat. If you don't mind me showing the gameplay of the finished product FF15, if you mind.
And 15 was the first full action FF. Just objectively, it was. It wasn't turn-based. It was the full action FF. Yoshi P's lying when he says the first action FF.
Yup, exactly. And our next talking point is like, let's just say this: Old Square and how turn-based sold, and how the lies being spread that turn-based doesn't sell. Everybody's talking like a company person instead of demanding turn-based defeatist attitude. Let me just show you example.
Dude,
let me just
people are scalping the Pixel Remaster Collection for $400. Turn-based don't sell. There are people desperate to get
Persona
the old
5
FFs and pay $400. Sorry, $400.
Yeah. Kiske by Falcom, Persona 5. Those are turn-based games.
I had someone on Twitter tell me if they remastered Chrono Trigger that only 10 people would buy it. What a fucking loser. If they remastered Chrono Trigger, only 10 people would buy it. Someone actually said that to me. I couldn't take that guy seriously. I just could not take that guy seriously. It's an elephant in the room that Chrono Trigger hasn't come to consoles. Look at how much people are going to pay for the Pixel remaster on console. $400 on eBay.
$400, yeah. That shows you that it has the scalpers already preying on that remastered. You're the lucky guy that has a copy. I'm happy with emulation and whatnot, but it is what it is. But look at this here. Speaking of which, let me show you another one.
People will buy anything Square puts out. If they put out a turn-based FF, they will buy it. I don't know where they get their metrics that turn-based doesn't sell. AAA turn-based doesn't sell.
It's a critic. Blah, 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 blah. IGN. This is IGN, kids. And they're giving it a 10 out of 10. Xenogears. Metascore 84. User score 91. Einhander 89. User score 8.7. Front Mission 3. 8.3. Perfect game. Chrono Trigger.
Only 10 people will buy Chrono Trigger Remaster. These people don't know their fucking history.
Exactly. Another one. 8189. What's another good? This is not the Square Enix stuff. Final Fantasy or Kingdom Hearts.
People always say, whenever you bring up Persona 5 about turn-based selling, they go, yeah, but Persona only sells 5 million. They want 10 million. I promise you this: if Square released a turn-based FF, it won't sell Persona 5 numbers. It'll probably do double Persona 5 numbers.
Let's go to recent. Metascore 93. User score 87. Look at this.
That's actually weird. Yeah.
Look at this. Like I posted all that, and this was Square at its peak.
This is what I mean about company men. They don't care if turn-based is still quality. Like, you can make a quality 9 plus out of 10 turn-based. They're all about, oh, but Square won't sell the numbers. Dude, forget the numbers. Demand a turn-based game that's a 9 out of 10. Did you suddenly stop wanting turn-based just because it doesn't sell? Or doesn't sell as much as action? Square could make an easy profit doing it. Put in maybe 2/3 of the budget they put into FF16. and make a decent, healthy profit. But now people are all company men all of a sudden, a bunch of capitalist pigs, company men saying turn-based doesn't sell, dude. $400 for Pixel Remaster, and that's for 3 out of 3 good games, like exceptional games, like 4, 5, and 6. Now imagine you put a Chrono fucking Remaster, people fucking buy that in droves and droves, fam. Why do you think they're even putting out remasters if they don't sell? Why are turn-based games getting remasters if they don't sell? So stop fucking lying that turn-based does not sell. Otherwise we wouldn't be getting 20 fucking remasters every fucking year. You dumb motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Sorry for the language, bro.
You're good. Like, but seriously, you got like these people, like you said, people don't know jack, even by it's like 5 years ago or so. And why I show those reviews? Because to show you that they're turn-based games, most of them, by the way. One's a smut, by the way. Because I show those, because this is Square back in their prime, before they merged, before they want to chase trends. This was when they had their identity. FF16 is like chasing the trends of like The Witcher 3 and or Game of Thrones. But
definitely.
But I'm just repeating what you said right there. And people being defeated, like turn-based is like outdated and old. Like they don't know how to like implement it in modern times. Look at this, for example. I'm showing you a recent example. Yes, it's Persona, or better yet, let's just say Trails of Reverie gameplay.
Dude, they released a new Treasure of Monkey Island game. Stop telling me fucking turn-based is dead. It's less dead than the adventure genre, fam.
Are they testing out the hack and slash feature in this game? Like, okay, so look at this. Like, basically, they're just like Persona 5 style. Like, basically, look here. You see these buttons right here? This like your item, your some other moves right there, flee, and blah blah. Your elemental attacks, blah blah blah. It's the more recent example here. So basically, it's like they're showing off gameplay here. Yeah, and they're telling me turn-based is dead.
Dude, just because they don't make adventure games anymore doesn't mean I don't want adventure games anymore. Yeah, I mean, just because they don't sell, or you think they don't sell, doesn't mean you should stop demanding them. Why do you think you guys keep buying these remasters of turn-based? Chrono Cross thing, you're buying freaking all these remasters that they're putting out. Yeah, I mean, you're going to be buying the Dragon Quest HD Pixel remasters, Octopath Traveler, all this shit. Turn-based doesn't sell my ass.
Yeah. Gameplay trailer. Blah blah blah. Let's skip this 5-hour.
FF12 was turn-based, yep. It was a good hybrid. 12 was like 7 Remake. It was a hybrid.
Yeah.
If you turn wait mode on, it was a hybrid. Everyone loves FF7 Remake's combat. Loved it.
Yeah. I loved it too.
And the new guys loved it.
Yeah.
Why is that wrong to want in FF16 or something? So stupid.
Yeah. Showing gameplay here. Let's see how this is how you interact with turn-based. Like, look here. It becomes like just like look here. Like look, there's I'm showing you here like here's turn-based combat like the UI.
We can't see it.
Oh. Stop that, non-full screen. Look here. This is how you implement turn-based in modern times.
We can't see it.
Oh crap! I forgot to like turn on share the screen mode. My bad. Again. My bad.
I mean, Persona proves that you can make it fun.
Yeah, look at this.
For casuals.
It's just a PC. Like each button is a menu. It's an action where you can. Which look at this is how you use elementals and summons.
Look how fast it is.
Yeah, I think it's just like I just adjusted like the playback speed's normal. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, a better example, like Vector is saying in the chat, is
Yeah.
FF12 Zodiac Age Combat.
Mhm.
That's a perfect hybrid, perfect compromise.
Yeah. Okay, we get this now. Like, look.
Okay,
here.
yeah. And we don't need to convince people in the chat of this. They know already. It's these fucking casual. Do you know what it is? They're trying to market FF to a crowd that hated turn-based. The COD GTA players who hated FF because they go, it's fucking boring turn-based. They're now trying to appeal to that crowd. Can you imagine if trying to appeal to a crowd that fucking hated the guts out of 7 of your best games? So fucking retarded.
I'm just going to check this out here. So, gameplay. One more time. One more example. One more time. Before we move on.
Yeah, we gotta get
Because-
to those points.
Yeah. Blah blah blah.
Persona 5 got the modern turn-based combat thing to a science. Yep. Yeah, look at
Look,
that.
like you said, like no transitions.
Yeah.
It's like
And you're doing elemental weaknesses. see?
elemental weaknesses, exploitation, more strategy on the fly. It's like this whole thing is basically relying on the ATB battle system. If
And
it's
what's
done
ironic-
in like
Yeah, what's ironic is FF14's an MMO. You'd expect 16 would be more like this and less like
Yeah.
Devil May Cry. But they didn't take none of the expertise of 14 and bring it to... They just got the Devil May Cry combat director in to just do their combat for them.
yeah. Exactly. So the next point is like basically how FF16 might be review bombed and huge FF14 MMO fanbase mean this game will not get unbiased reviews even though Yoshi P is not directing.
Yeah, the 14 crowd is giving this a huge bump. I don't know if it can get a fair review because everyone loves Yoshi P in 14, even though he's only producing this game and the guy directing is someone like...
In someone in the shadows. No offense to him.
I mean, he's done just as much good as he has bad. Like he did The Last Revenant. He directed The Last Revenant, which is trash.
Yeah.
And then he did Heavensward. So he has good and bad in his catalogue. So how can people say, oh, I will love this game, it's going to be amazing, when the last time he directed a full-on game was trash.
Yeah. And speaking of FF12, I had to say Bathier or Bosch. I do not like Van. It's like Van is like a standard stereotypical RPG protagonist compared to like Bosch or Bathier, in my opinion.
Yeah, he was more of an observer character.
Yeah.
Observing other characters.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's his reaction. So.
Yeah, Vectored. DMC combat guy should be working the next Nier instead of 16. Yep.
Yeah. Because that combat is perfect for Nier as a whole. And this review bombed, every game's going to get review bombed when it comes out. But how people are like saying, oh, it's going to be praised because this game's good because it's like fast and snappy. It has all this check boxes here and there. And it's not all weebish and anime-like.
People are actually starting to say now that nobody liked turn-based. They only put up with turn-based for 7-8 games just because of the story. That's not fucking true.
No.
That's not fucking true.
Exactly. When I play, the gameplay is just as important as the story. If the gameplay is trash, I will not look at FF12. The story's wonderful in the world.
Yeah.
The gameplay made me drop it. Seriously.
Gameplay is usually 70% of a game on a good day. So 70% of that game has to be fucking amazing. It's not just about cutscenes and the world and traveling through it. Gameplay is king. And if the gameplay is just Devil May Cry combat, hack and slash, building up your combo as much as you can, speed running a fight and putting it on the fucking arcade board, arcade board. This game has a practice mode, like Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, for fuck's sake. They've got a practice mode with combo practice mode, yep. With button prompts and
Hold on,
Street
a
Fighter.
practice mode?
A practice mode for combos with button prompts. The controller's there so you know what buttons are being pressed. This is not fucking Final Fantasy. This is a score attack, combo attack fucking game.
Like, come on, if I want to practice my combos, I would just go to an extra dungeon and attack those monsters. If I want to practice my combos and get experience. Like, I have feelings on that. Like, I'm not playing a hack and slash beat 'em up like Ninja Gaiden. You go in stages, you kill these enemies, you go to point A, point B, you dodge attack, you dodge moves, you exploit weaknesses, yada yada. But with review bombers, both ways, things before they review things before they even out. Look at the Mal reviewers. There is no thought in user reviews. Look, about Mal, I tried being a reviewer on that place, and my god, they want to be concise with their reviews. Like, you gotta add like a synopsis that tells a whole story. You have to tell about their pros and cons in detail, not just bullet points. Like you're reading a freaking essay, writing an essay instead of like, is it good or not good?
I mean, Vector, the FF16 is already immune to political controversy, so my fear is it's going to get review bombed the other way. Positive review bombs rather than negative. Only when something has political issues, it gets review bombed by the trans, woke community, blah blah, whatever. But this game is going to have the opposite. It's going to get positive review bombs from the FF14 crowd who won't even play the game. Who probably won't even play the game.
Yep. They won't even play the game. They just in it for the hype. Like, oh, I'm a big, huge Final Fantasy. You know, one thing that bugs me is like, you know, those people say like, I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Okay, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, have you played FF4? You know the main characters of that game's name, Cecil Harvey, or his best friend Kane Highland, or Cecil's girlfriend Kane, or his brother, or the twist that the main antagonist was his brother. Go Bez.
They can't tell you. They can't tell you none of that shit.
Yeah. Still, look at FF4. How that game made me invest in those simple characters. Back in the day, it was complex storytelling. But when I played FF4, I enjoyed the story and the gameplay. Remember in FF4 when you're playing one of the scout, gotta pronounce his name, that he does a surprise attack, and beforehand the tactic is basically to rearrange your party so he doesn't back attack you. So put your attackers in the front, in the back, and put your support in the back. Instead of like attackers in the front and support at the back. You remember that moment?
Yeah.
Or when Cecil gets the paladin class, you're not supposed to attack.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this? Because there are going to be tons of posers that say like, "Ooh, FF7! I got into the game series by FF7." Okay, have you reached the part after Midgar? Because Shinra takes a back seat for Genova. And they don't even notice what goes on after this too. Have they reached Vincent yet? Yeah. How you get Vincent?
These people don't know shit.
Yeah.
It's like the problem in the Star Trek community. You got the new Trek fans and the old Star Trek fans who disregard anything that's any progress and progressiveness that's happened in Star Trek, old Star Trek. It's all about what we want, what is flavor of the month right now, wokeism, transism. Let's shove it in our favorite thing. What we want today, we want beat 'em ups and Street Fighter. Disregard all the history, fam.
Yeah. Speaking of Trek, that series was progressive even for its time. And leftist views and whatnot. And yet people saying, oh, it's woke. Oh, it's like too unwoke. It's too dark and cynical. Star Trek works best when it's like positive. Well, I'm not that much of a Star... That's what I see on Star Trek. But I'm more of a Star Wars guy. But we know what happened to Star Wars. But we're not getting into that.
Dude, FF was so inspired by Star Wars, which is so fucking ironic about how far it's moved away from that.
Yep. And Vector promised saying Persona combat doesn't even get close to the complexity of what FF has done and what it can do. Have you actually? Well, I was not showing off Persona for it's like it's better than FF. No, I'm showing it because how you can implement turn-based in the modern day. You got that wrong.
Even 10-2 has got amazing turn-based combat. Characters can attack an enemy together if they time their turn-based correctly. So if Yuna, Riku, and Pain all go at the same time, all three of them will attack the same enemy. So there's no downtime or pause in between. It looks like a fucking action game. So turn-based, people saying that turn-based is boring. They have no clue about the variety there is in turn-based.
Strategy, where to attack enemies, when to block, you got it. We want to get this rolling, but
what's the next point?
The next point is basically how 5 out of 6 Square games, new IPs in the last year have been flops. When this wasn't the case in the back in the day, like Xenogears days.
You just showed us Xenogears Front Mission. You showed us a series of bangers. Square Enix has had 5 flops in the last year alone. Dealfield Chronicle, Valkyrie Elysium, fucking Triangle Strategy, Forspoken. Just every new IP has been a flop. They're incapable of making anything good that's fucking new.
Exactly, like
Octopath
they don't
2
know how to like be innovative instead of like pandering to people and pandering to trends. But yeah, these Zoomers only know about Persona 5 combat. Like Moin said, it doesn't have to be boring. That's why I show Persona 5. The UI doesn't look like a traditional menu. Each pretend it's a game controller. This is my phone here, and pretend these are the buttons. Each button is an action. And each action is a command, so on and so forth. How it implements well, because you got your turns and your party members right there, you got the monsters turns right there, etc. It requires depth and strategy. While people say turn-based is dead,
dude,
it's not dead.
Dude, how is turn-based dead when Nintendo fans keep buying the same fucking shitty Pokemon game over and over and over and over again? Turn-based is dead. Nintendo fans have been buying the last 5 trash fucking Pokemon games in gangbuster numbers. It's about the brand. It's not about turn-based. It's about the brand. If Square Enix and FF released a turn-based game, it would fucking sell if it was shit over slop.
Yeah.
Fucking liars.
Convoluted. Yeah. Convoluted like FF8, but if you know, but some people like FF8's vision of that active turn-based system. To me, it's convoluted. It's everything explained in a convoluted way and whatnot. But
I mean, Mad Dog, Matt Wheaton. By their metrics, it was a flop.
Yeah, by sales.
But most of the games they put out in the last, Babylon's Fall, Forspoken, Dealfield Chronicle, those were definitely all critically panned and trash. Dealfield was also the critically trash, mediocre reviews, bad poor sales. Octopath 2 is good but didn't sell. By their metrics, it's a flop. They can't get a new IP off the ground. So they gotta do this experimental shit with the existing thing. Dragon Quest 12 might be action.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a beloved turn-based franchise in Japan that sells regardless of anything becoming Devil May Cry action?
Oh boy, they're going to be pushed back.
There's gonna be pushback.
One of the main icons of that series died recently, so it's going to be like a ton of composers trying to jump on the bandwagon to be on the soundtrack of Dragon Quest 12. If Toriyama's going to be in it, I hope he is. There's going to be a lot of changes with that series, and people are going to get mad. Like pushback, Resident Evil, Star Wars. Each IP has pushback. It's natural for an IP
Even
to have
Star Wars.
pushback.
The most brain-dead fan base, or traditionally the most brain-dead fan base that would accept anything. Even the fucking Star Wars community has pushback. MCU has pushback. We all fucking hate MCU now. Even though some of us were like, oh, it's amazing, man. Iron Man, man. Winter Soldier, man. Amazing. Endgame, man. Infinity War, man. We all push back when something starts going in a direction we don't like. But FF community just is, they're
Accept
built
it.
different now.
Accept it like, oh, it's the not hot new thing, so I must like it. So I must keep my audience happy and whatnot. Good for you. I got burnt out by 3 freaking games. 12, 13, and Final Mess 15.
I mean, 13 was 3 games. That's even more games. 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
I love how people are forgetting that Square Enix has given you 4 trash FF games or mediocre FF games.
Yeah.
And so how can you suddenly be so
trusting?
Yeah, trusting. You know what I mean?
You gotta impress me, man. I'm an easy guy to impress, but Final Fantasy, you gotta be engaging.
Yeah. Your gameplay has to sustain 40 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah, but what your boy Vector Promise says, I mean, they changed the Valkyries to use combat in Asylum to action, and look, exactly, it looks dull. Let me tell you that the action looked dull. The graphics look dull. The graphics look dull. The gameplay looks dull. Even the soundtrack probably sounds dull. Like, it doesn't sell. It's like Identity. Like, they made a huge change, and the whole thing looks dull. They made it into like Star Ocean, but it is not modern Star Ocean. I haven't played the Star Ocean 4 sucked. I heard 5 people didn't like that one because it's too short, 20 hours long. And I don't know what Star Ocean Divine Force is. How well that was received. I haven't played that one. I probably played on my Steam Deck soon. Through various means. Wink, wink, R. Anything else before we conclude? Because
are we running out? Have you run out of points?
Yeah, we just ran out of points and we're almost out of time.
That's fine. We can keep it short.
Yeah, before like gameplay is king. Gameplay keeps people interested in the game and keeps coming back. Despite being long or short, people come back to the gameplay. It's like 80% of a game. Then you got the graphics. Then you got the soundtrack. Then you got the characters.
Do you know who Daigo Umehara is from the Street Fighter community? Yeah. Basically, to be good at this new FF, you got to be like a Daigo, coming back to the arcade mode and getting a high score by doing all the fucking combos and parryings and fucking all this combo shit. Yeah. Different disciplines. It's completely just shit on the RPG fans. The party-based min-maxing, micromanaging people. You know what I mean? That's the root of the RPG, the tabletop RPG. Yeah. That's the root from where RPGs came from, and they've forgotten all that. Now it's for Devil May Cry and Street Fighter players, where you got to be good at Daigo, parrying, perfect timing.
Yeah, I got a better example. Imagine if Armored Core became an RTS game. Yeah, you can command your mech, you can build your mech, but each mission you got to directly command your mech, Carnage Heart style, and then each MT gets a turn, and then so on and so forth. It completely changed the system, and people will flip. Or better yet, imagine if you turn. What would be a better example? If you turn Fire Emblem into a hack and slash Devil May Cry-ish game. Fire Emblem was known to be the strategic based.
Yeah.
And you turn it into like a Devil May Cry hack and slash game. Like, there's going to be a ton of pushback on that. Or you made Hitman into like a Call of Duty game. While Hitman encourages people to basically do their job in complete silence and professionalism, aka in quotations, not get caught or leave evidence behind, or try to avoid the combat as much as possible. Yes, you can just use your specialized ballers, pistols, or your machine guns to just shoot everyone, Call of Duty, solid rev style, but the series Hitman is known to be like a stealth game, which encourages more on stealth.
This is why people hate Redfall now. You know, that studio was known for its immersive sim, tackle something a different way. Now it's a 4-player co-op shooter game, like a live service 4-player co-op, just shoot everything, Destiny style game, and people are hating it. Push back against Redfall. This beloved studio is doing not Dishonored, not Prey. They're doing fucking bottom of the barrel, live service co-op shooter. There's plenty of those out there. You know what I mean?
Trying to be the next Titanfall 2. And Titanfall 2 is a shame because that was a good game. Fast-paced shooter done right. But that's a different topic. But we just ran out of things to say, and the Mega Dimension's about to close. So, till then, if you enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends. Share it with the haters or the lovers. Because this needs to be said right here. We're not sugarcoating crap.
Yeah, there's not enough people saying it. Yeah.
And one more thing, we are just sharing our concerns. Look, I want to play FF16, and I'm not getting a PS5 just to play one game. It's a waste of money. I'm already tight on money as it is. But
sorry, I got one question before you wrap up, Omega. Have you ever stuck Lego up your bum?
No.
Okay.
I stepped on a Lego.
You stepped on Lego, okay.
I got stepped on Lego and it hurts. Multiple times.
Damn. Yeah.
Have
you swallowed a Lego? Like swallowed a Lego?
No. I heard people got swallowed by Legos and almost died from them.
Shit.
No. I did a lot of interesting stuff when I was a kid, though. Interesting stuff. We'll just leave it on another day. It'll be insane.
Yeah.
But as we were saying before the question, I stepped on a Lego on my toe. Let me just say this. Hold on, still here. So my internet's going about the Omega Dimension's closing right now. So if you enjoy, just share this video, like the video when it comes out in video form, subscribe to the channel, give us some topics so we, Mackenzie, or even Mad Matt can have our say about topics in the dimension. And yes, if you have any concerns, please list them down. So I need to get back onto the podcasting and video content creation because I'm losing touch with it because I haven't done a video in a long while. Yes, you don't want to get stuck there. Trust me, the Omega Dimension, when this portal closes, time flows differently. Once I heard a story about a young boy that wandered in the dimension one day, and when he got out, it was like 6 months. To him, it was like a couple hours, like 2 hours, but he got back in 6 months.
That's jokes. It's like Interstellar.
Yeah, I got this whole lore thing set up. I just need to write some stuff down and solidify. If you have any like ideas, please we'll have this discussion one day in private. Okay. So with that out of the way, and Mackenzie, any last words before the dimension portal closes, so we don't get stuck?
Just last words is that I'm not hating on 16. I hope it's good. But I just think that there needs to be more fair, balanced conversation around it. So, but yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, Omega. You're welcome. That's what happened to my character. That's what happened to me. I got stuck in the Omega Dimension. I forgot how to talk to people. It gets pretty lonely in there, and you start to lose your sanity. Oh, exactly. We'll do that one day. Don't have an arm off. More like don't have your sanity. Have your sanity fully intact. Because your other side will be the one example is if you get out of the dimension improperly, you start to become crazy.
This is some weird dimension, fam. I think I
Yeah.
want to be inside the dimension.
You're protected now. If we keep doing like content, we'll be and when we get out in time properly, we don't get insane.
Yeah, definitely.
So till
It's
then,
definitely fun.
people, before we shut down the doors, let's just say that it's nice being back in the dimension once more. Side effects, don't bar, please, people. The side effects, man, I'm really feeling these side effects because I forgot how to close the video. So till then, this is your boy, the Omega Katana, signing off. Sayonara, Eid Mubarak, and be
Imubar.
and cheers and have a good time. Sayonara.
Take care, man.